This video is sponsored by Win-Win Technology, your ultimate flight sim hardware solution, featuring the Orion hotels, current and future configurations.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing very well. Today's valued viewer request is from Iceman HG. Hey Cap, can you do a video about the DCS summer sale and give recommendations? We'll certainly try, we'll be honest, and if it helps, it helps. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Now, my understanding is that the summer sale is on until July the 12th, RC, and I think Steam till July the 8th. Any problems with that?
Sounds about right.
So we start, of course, from digitalsimulator.com, and I'm in the homepage here. I'm going to go to download. No, I'm not. I'm going to go to eShop. I'm going to go to modules. This will show us what's included in the sale and how much they are for. The order, I believe, is in release date. We're going to start with the Mi-24P Hind. In fact, we're not. Before we do that, we've got some cool tools that we've set up for you guys to help you decide what you're going to buy. Because at this point, there are so many planes or aircraft, it's getting hard to know what to get. Especially if you're not an aircraft connoisseur, which I'm probably not now, but I certainly wasn't when I started. So, I will direct you first to GR DCS World Module Quick Reference Buyer's Guide. It tells you at a glance which aircraft can do what stuff. So, for instance, Mi-24P Hind, A10C2 Tank Killer, and it goes down roughly in order of release. It tells you who developed it, because you may not want to buy from a certain developer. It tells you whether it's currently in release or early access. This is a little bit out of date. I need to go and update it, but it's generally good. Whether it's officially a carrier-capable aircraft or not, and I'm pretty sure, in fact, I guess Hind is carrier capable. I know it's not supposed to, but whether it can do air-to-air refueling, whether it has helmet-mounted display, whether it has a gun, whether it has radar, whether it has a targeting pod, rocket capable, bomb capable, guided missiles within 1 to 5 miles, 5 to 10 miles, 10 miles and above, nuclear capable, anti-radiation capable, anti-ship capable, and air-to-air different ranges that it can engage up to. We've got our GR average score here, which is interesting. It's out of 20, and it is very, very thoroughly marked, shown here in graph format. This shows at November 2020 what was GR official members. There's about 70 of us in total. Our official total score for each of these aircraft. I've got a whole video explaining exactly where all of those marks came from, which aircraft scored highly and why, and I'll link that in the video description. I will also link the video for this sheet in the video description. Quickly before we go, if I've done a proper kind of half-hour to hour-long review on the module, which will include just about all of the information about it that you're going to want to know, I have a link here and you can go off that link if you want. And finally, for the official price, because prices fluctuate obviously, and buying page, I've got that linked here as well. So that's something I suggest you use. Next, let's go and have a look at the sale. Mi-24P at $56. So, I mean, I'm amazed that they've actually put the discount price on it already, but I love it. I think it's the problem with this, Oz, is I'm going to go and say the same thing on every one I'm looking at. I love it, go and buy it. So we have to try and find a way of making this useful to people. Because I do, it's friggin' awesome. I absolutely love it. I guess one complaint would be if, I was going to say it's not useful, as it doesn't have long-range guided weapons. It does. It has the Sturms, which can fire up to about 4 miles. They're not the easiest to use compared to, say, Vickers on a Ka-50. So I guess in terms of performance of, actual ability, it's not as good as a Ka-50, right? I think we'd agree on that. But it's still super cool. Operational 1972, I thought it was 1980, so I've got that wrong. I got nothing really bad. I haven't found anything bad about it yet, so it's just the way it is. Anyway, it's $56, which is cool. A10C2 Tank Killer, the updated version from the A10C1, and this brings a few more weapons. This is the price if you don't already have the A10C1. If this is the first A10C that you're buying, it's $56. And there's not much to say about it. It's pretty legendary in DCS. Basically, everyone has it. I'm not an A10C guy. It's just not my cup of tea, as you all know probably now. But pretty much everyone out there loves it, and there's no problems with it. Anything you want to add on the A10C?
Probably the most complete module that's out there.
Right, it's literally like 9+ years old, and so it's had all that development time, and it's there, it's done, obviously. Whereas Hind is obviously early access. So take note. Thunderbolt, the latest warbird that's come out. We love it top notch. It's probably, in terms of quality, the best warbird that's come out so far, as you'd expect, because it's the latest. I don't fly it a great deal simply because it's not much of a dogfighter. You can dogfight with it, but if we do warbirds, we almost certainly just do dogfighting, and so I jump myself in a Spit or a BF-109. But it is awesome. Everyone that's got it really loves it. Massive, chunky, big, heavy, soaks up a lot of damage. $35. A bit of a bargain if you ask me. But anything else to say about the Thunderbolt?
It's definitely an excellent module.
All three so far.
I love it.
Top quality modules, top quality flight models, top quality everything. Super carrier, I mean, it's a bit of a weird one because it's a carrier, so we just take it for granted now. We've all got it in GR, and it's just something that's always there at $35. It's just one of those things you just kind of have to have as far as I'm concerned, because if you want to go into multiplayer servers and operate from the super carriers, and most of them have super carriers now, you just sort of have to have it. It's not finished yet as early access, but a lot of the main functionality, I guess you would say, is in there. And it comes with the updated Kuznetsov Russian vehicle as well. I've not much else to say on it. Anything you want to add to Super Carrier?
No, nothing with that.
Next is the Jeff. It's discounted from $80, which is like the top highest quality module, down to $64. It's good. I've got a full review if you want to go and see. I've got a full review of everything here if you want to go and see this in detail. I don't think it's quite as good as the F-16. I guess you would call it the contemporary to the F-16. Obviously, China, Pakistan driven aircraft, and it's going to be relatively similar in capability. Almost the same actually to the F-16C. I prefer the F-16 a bit, just slightly better module quality. That's not to say that the Decker one is bad, because it's not. We always have this argument which is better, but the F-16 is top quality. The JF-17 is very good quality. Prices $64 for the JF, $56 for the Viper. To be honest, you won't be unhappy with either of them. The Viper, for me, it's the best modern aircraft module in DCS for all sorts of reasons, and I've got an hour-long video if you can look. I've got no allegiance to ED over anyone else, but it's just my favourite. It's the one I want to fly all the time if I'm going to go into a modern aircraft, and it's simple as that. RC, do you agree, or do you have a differing opinion?
I do like the 16 a lot. It's a good aircraft. It's definitely not as complete as the JF-17. They're both in early access, but the JF-17 is much more complete than the 16 is. So that's the only thing I would give it right now.
Fair play. If you're going to spend your money, this is not as complete at the moment. So that's a fair point to say. Focke-Wulf A8, $25. I mean, the currency is, your dollar is dropping so badly at the moment. I don't know what you're doing over there, but that's like £15 now, which is like FC3 cheap. The A8 to me is second to the Thunderbolt in quality. It's top quality. It's not the best plane though. It's not very fast. It's not particularly maneuverable. It's really a ground attacker, I think. I would struggle to, and you see that because whenever we choose missions, we rarely choose the A8 because of its performance. It's just not the best performing. That's not to say in any way it's not an excellent module, because it really is. It's probably the second best warbird out there, and it's lovely and fun to fly. If you're in terms of competition like we are, we go in to win the fight, we rarely choose it. But it's a brilliant module and easily worth the money. Anything to add to that, RC?
Nothing on that.
Yeah, I think we pretty agree so far. I-16 is really good. I know it sounds stupid, but it is probably the third best warbird. It's a funny one. Just be a little bit careful. If you're going to buy it, don't expect to do long-range missions with, for instance, P-51s or something like that. It's relatively short range. Its performance envelope is relatively small. It can't keep up with a lot of the other planes on cruise. So just be aware for that. If you're flying on your own, it's actually really good. It's really good fun. It's open cockpit. It's loud. It's smoky. It's noisy. We really enjoy it. And here's the one strange thing. In competition, it's useful. Because it's so niche, it's a 28 degrees per second. The nearest in turn rate, the nearest to that is the Spitfire in 24 degrees per second. So it can outturn anything. And it's not a massive killer because it's got AK-47s as guns. But it is massively kinematically impressive in terms of turn like that. So it does have a use, but don't expect to go playing with Mustangs in terms of range and speed. And the gear is a bit of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, its gear is a pain in the butt, but it's still a fun aircraft to fly. And the problem is it's early access. I don't know if it's ever going to be out of early access. I've seen no work on it being done.
Yeah. Next, MiG-19P Farmer by Razbam. Brilliant. I really like it. I think it's a great little module. It's not the best flight model. I know they've upgraded it lately. It's still a little bit funny for me. It's stuck in early access as well for a while. We're still waiting for a lot of optics for the site to be done. But I do actually enjoy it. I've got a full review on it where I give it a fair review. If I've got a plane I want to have fun with, I often just go to the Farmer. I personally got a problem with spending money with Razbam. I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to have my opinion. But, if that doesn't matter to you, who the money goes to, then why not? Decent plane otherwise. Anything you want to add to that, RC?
I love it. 19.
Just
That's
about
all
right.
I'm going to say.
There you go. It's a good plane. Crescent Eagle, I mean, it is what it is. It's a small stunt aircraft. That's what it is. It's got no guns. It's $15. It's like £9. Why not? So, I think that's stuck in early access as well. Isn't it?
Another one that's, I don't know if it's ever going to be out.
There must be some weird rule about how you get it. It has to have certain features or something. But anyway, whatever.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Next, I'm just going to plunk all the FC3 planes into one unit. If you haven't got them, I would suggest just buying them. It's so useful to have a plane for $7, 4.5 English pounds. Basically, it costs nothing. And they can be so useful, even if you're one of these guys that must have full reality, cockpit and everything. Great. But sometimes it's just really useful to have a flanker when you're going into a server when only a flanker is available and stuff like that. I would suggest just buying them. Buy the Flaming Cliffs 3 set if it's in here. Be done with it. It's really good still. The planes are pretty much just as good in terms of ability, or air-to-air, at least air-to-air ability than the high-fidelity ones, and kinematically and whatnot. And the flight models are pretty much just as good nowadays as well. Just obviously you haven't got a clickable cockpit, so it is old school, simplified controls. So in terms of overall capability, no T-pods and stuff like that. Although technically the SU-25 has a Shkval T-pod, I suppose. But anyway, that's that. Next, Tomcat. It's nice to see them finally dropping their price. It was up $80 for a long time. It's now down to $68. So probably the most expensive one. However, realistically, it's probably the one out there that's had the most work into it. They've probably put the most hours into it. The Heatblow guys, and they've done a great job. It's not my personal favourite for various reasons, but if we go back here, out of 70 Grim Reaper's members, without a gun to the head, they just did this in their own time, they've rated the F-14 be the highest. So that can't be, that's not made up, that's a real thing. It's just really good, simple as that. I usually don't suggest it as a first plane. A lot of people, well, every day, in fact about 50 people a day ask me what to get. I say, great module for air-to-air, okay-ish for air-to-ground. Can do long-range air-to-air. Probably don't put it as your first module because it doesn't really teach you the right things. When I was doing teaching, I always saved it till later. I would start with the F-16 or Hornet or Jeff or something like that. But otherwise, great. Anything to add to the Tomcat RC?
Just what just adding on, it's just it really is an excellent module. Even from day one, it was really good.
You can tell a lot of work's gone into it. You can just tell. The Yak-52, it's just the same as the CE2 in that it's just in this case it's a training aircraft. You can do stunts in it if you want, I suppose. No guns, so it's there. It's actually one of my favourites, and it sounds stupid. Quality, I think it's actually awesome. Although we've just found out that it doesn't seem to actually have a damage model, which is interesting. So it's my duty to say that. So just bear that in mind. Next, Hornet standby. Hornet is a quintessential aircraft that everyone just has to have in DCS world, really. It's carrier capable, it's air-to-ground capable, smart weapon capable, it's air-to-air capable. It can do everything, pretty much, that everything else here can buy. So it's one of those planes, especially as well, is if you're not going to buy everything, like us, and spend $2,000, you're going to buy one, probably buy the Hornet. I know it's to say that grudgingly, but it can do pretty much everything. It's well made. It's got relatively few bugs nowadays. It's still in early access. It's not perfect yet, but it's got a few more systems to be added. It's probably 90% complete now. Probably about 10% to go on it. Roughly, I don't know that. I'm just guessing, but it feels about right. I don't need to. You all know about the Hornet and its capabilities by now, so I don't need to plug it very much. Anything you want to add to the Hornet RC?
Your favorite aircraft?
It's not my favorite. It's my favorite aircraft value. It's not my favorite aircraft value, viewers, because it can do everything so well, and it kind of a bit like cheating. You just don't have to try, and that annoys me a lot. I think you should fly planes that really tax you. This plane doesn't actually tax you at all, and that's why I get a bit annoyed about it. But some of you may love that, right? Some, that may love
some people want.
Fine. Next, we're moving on to the Harrier. I mean, it's a difficult one for me personally. It's a really good module, good quality module. For me, there are some problems in that we're stuck in early access, and they keep going back and forwards and back and forth. Change things. They recently changed, like literally from some of the ground up things to make it more realistic, quote unquote. A bunch of guys complained, and now they've changed them all back. It's like, well, do you want to be realistic, or do you want to please make your mind up? And for me as well, I give money to Razban because it's my job. I have to. I wouldn't if I was just the average viewer, though. But it can do not as much as the Hornet. Probably, I guess, about half as much. But a lot of good big tech items. GBUs, laser-guided bombs, all that big stuff. It's got a big lightning T-pod on it. So a lot of you will like it. and $35 is actually quite reasonable, about £20. Anything to add to AV8B?
That's a really good price. I like the
price,
AV8B. It's fun to fly.
Roger.
Once you can master it, it can be a lot of fun.
Next is a bunch of navigational items. It's actually really good, this item. I'm not going to go through it. It's the NS430. You can attach it to various planes. It's GPS. It's just a GPS for the plane, really. I'm not going to go any further, and they cost almost nothing. Just buy it on your favourite plane, or buy the normal navigation system that just overlays. It's non-3D on the plane. World War II asset packs. I mean, it's at the point where it's so cheap, just buy it. And it will come in handy because, so there's a lot of servers out there, even some GR servers. You just need it because we've put a load of assets in there that are really cool. And it's not one of those things where they've forgotten about it. They've keep adding it. Almost every patch, something gets added to the World War II asset pack, doesn't it? A new Tiger tank or something. Probably just out of interest of the guy who's doing it. It's like the Super Carrier. It's one of those things you just really need to have at that price at least. That's all I've got to say. Anything you want to add to it?
No.
Vigum, really good module. It's weird that it's still in early access, I think, but because it's so old now. It's one of these planes, there's almost nothing bad you can find about it. The guys that make it really know what they're doing. I really enjoy flying it because it's a high skill plane. It has some clever stuff like guided anti-ship missiles and guided cruise missiles, relatively limited range and stuff like that. But you need skill to fly the Viggen. It's not a Hornet. You need a lot more skill, and for that, it makes it much more attractive for me as an airplane. Love flying it when I get the chance. Well made. It's technically actually crashing a lot at the moment, but DCS 2.7's just come out, and this always happens when a big patch comes out. So I'm sure it gets fixed. It always does. Nothing else to say about the Aegis 37. Anything RC?
I think it's the oldest aircraft in early access still.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
That is a downside to me. I think people should make the effort. Maybe I just can't see the big picture, but for me, it should be done and done. If a lot of people like me paid their $80 4 or 5 years ago, come on, it should be done.
We're just not sure where. There's no roadmap for it. I don't think so. We don't even know where it's supposed to be going. So it's just odd.
That's fine.
So $30 is a good price for an early access module. I wouldn't pay full price for it for sure.
There you go.
Until it's out.
That's the thing as well. Me and RC have to buy them early access because we have to, we have to do all the videos and stuff. But you guys don't have to. You can wait if you want. Spitfire. I mean, we can kind of bag all the rest of all the Warbirds up into one. The older Warbirds, if you like, from a few years ago. There's nothing wrong with them. They're all good. They're not as good quality as the modern ones. The graphics aren't as good, but they are still being maintained. The sounds and similar stuff being updated, and we love flying them. Are they worth it at $25, £17? Yeah, easily, if you like that. And World War II, don't just think of it as a tiny little bit. No one, if I make a World War II video in DCS, no one watches it. They all want to see stealth fighters doing stupid stuff. But for people that actually play DCS, fly DCS, the best thing you can do is go and get in a Warbird. You'll guaranteed every time have a better time if you're interested in flying than the Hornet or even the F-16 and stuff like that. Much more rewarding, and you can quote me on that. So get into it, basically, and you'll have a lot of fun. F5 Tiger, it's really great module. Again, in terms of quality, it's not up there with the big ones anymore. It's old, relatively old, but it's still a great plane. It's still an excellent flight model. Again, a bit like the Warbirds, it's great fun. Somewhere between a Hornet and a Warbird, I suppose. Not a great deal of capability, but sometimes you don't want the capability. You just want to have good fun. And we still love using it. $30, £20. Billy bargain, to be honest. Anything to add to that?
No.
Gazelle, $25. So Gazelle, love the people behind it. It's always helpful for me if the people behind the module are nice guys. Polychop, Sven and the other guys, we've talked to them a few times, just seem like really nice guys. A quick roundup, looks really good, sounds really good, the weapons are pretty decent. I don't like the flight model. I've explained why in several videos why I don't like the flight model. Some people do. I might not be right. They might be right. I don't know. But I'm just telling you my honest opinion. But I have started. Now I've got a giant 2-foot wing. It has become a little bit easier for me to fly. And so I do fly it occasionally. But it's never going to be one of my big ones because I just cannot get on with the flight model very much. That's as fair as I can be. But the rest of it is a cool module. $24, £17. Yeah, why not? Why not? Anything to add to Gazelle?
I think they said at some point they're supposed to update the flight model and fix the multi-crew on it. So
that would be
hopefully
nice.
We're going to see something in the future for that.
Well, I would say chop then, because it's it's released from early access. It should be fully working in my opinion. But
yeah.
Next, Mirage 2000 is one of the few actually I would not recommend buying. I'm allowed to say it. No one can sue me for saying it. ED can't sue me for saying it. There's lots of problems for me. Oh no, I'll ask I haven't actually talked to RC about this, but I just spent my last few days covering the changes. This is not an early access module. It came out, can you remember, 6 years ago?
Oh, yes.
Well established.
Back.
And they've literally just implemented full ground up changes to it. The way you do stuff is completely changed. And you could take that two ways. One, great, they're supporting this module, they're making it more realistic. I imagine that's probably what RC will say. For me, I'm a different type of guy. For me, massive pain in the butt. I've got to learn the Mirage all over again. I've got to do all my videos again. I know it doesn't bother you guys, but for me, it's problematic. And I'm, to be honest, not going to bother because I'm fed up with it now. Change it again and again and again. Keep changing it. Massive problem with its kinematics. It can go Mach 1. We did a mission, fully loaded, fueled up. It went Mach 1.96, almost Mach 2, with two fuel tanks on, two of the big fuel tanks on. I spoke to Ate Chouet from the French Navy. He said maximum that will go is transonic. So it goes over twice as fast as this guy thinks it really should go. I always had a problem with the kinematics. The air brakes, when we did the air brakes video, it's the most powerful air brakes with the smallest air brake cross section. Something ain't right there. And I've always let it off because I've figured the guys at Razbam would fix it. They would fix it, or they would at least explain it, or at least communicate. I haven't, and that brings us to the next problem. Razbam, I can't recommend that you give them any money now. We've got to start standing up for ourselves. And these guys have been nasty to me, and I think nasty to other guys in the community. I don't know if I'll agree to that or not. And so I cannot recommend helping them out.
I know to you, but I don't know about other people.
Okay, maybe not, but they're nasty to me. And if that doesn't matter to you, absolutely fine. Go and spend money with them. If it does, then the only way to sort people like this out is, ED aren't going to sort them out, is to, we boycott, or well, not the word, is where we spend our money. Go and spend it with a nice guy. RC may have a completely different opinion. What's your opinion on the Mirage?
I'm like you. I'm annoyed at the constant changes. So it's an airplane. I can fly all of them with no problem and figure them out as I go. This one, It's just changed so much. It's very difficult.
Yeah, no, agreed. So you won't really be getting more... Sorry, go ahead.
No. That's all.
You won't be getting any more support from me on this module. I'll continue to support Razbam modules, but not this one. Sorry. Only so far you can push it. Albatross, a great module. It's a trainer only, limited stuff you can do on it. I would like to see it a little bit cheaper than $30. Bear in mind everything I've seen, like an I-16, you get $20. However, it is fully multi-crew and all working, and this is an old module, so everything's there just about working. Very few bugs. There you go. Great. I mean, quality module is excellent. Anything to add about the Albatross?
To be clear, it does have weapons. It's a trainer, but there's a version that does have weapons.
Yeah, it's the ZA, so you got bombs, you got guns, you got rockets, all the stuff like that. Yeah,
it's pretty good. I like the Albatross. Again, it's limited in what it can do, but it's fun to fly.
Roger. Okay, guys. Yep. Sorry, I didn't explain that very well. C101 is like an equivalent of the Albatross. It's just as good quality, if not maybe slightly better quality. We really like it. It's well updated. It's just slipped into or slipping into out of early access, if you know what I mean. We find it hard to find anything wrong with it. Same thing, it's limited in that it's bombs, rockets, guns. It does have a guided Sea Eagle missile, which is cool. Fully multi-crew, not bugless, but, pretty decent. The guys there, Aviadev, you want to spend your money with some nice guys? Aviadev, lovely guys. There's nothing else I can think to add to that. Anything to add to C101?
Yeah, the C101 was a plane that you could definitely, that the developers could have done and definitely forgotten about, and just like some of the other ones. But Aviadev has kept on this plane constantly. They've done really good work getting it updated and out of early access, so...
Roger, yep.
The only downside of the C101 is it's probably the slowest plane of all of them.
Roger.
But it's still fun to fly.
Agreed. It is. We still use them in our big missions sometimes. But yeah, it is slow. So if you're going to buy it, great point. Don't expect to go above about 250 knots, about the same as a Warbird, a tiny bit faster. So just bear that in mind. Can get a bit annoying if you're going to cover 200 miles, and that's going to take all day. MiG-15, one of my favourite. I mean, it's outdated now in terms of its graphics. It's an old module and that. But still, in terms of flight model, weapons, feel, still really, really good. And I love to fly it. I actually prefer it even to the MiG-19 in terms of old Soviet stuff. $24, why not? About the same as a Warbird. About the same quality as one of the old Warbirds, which there's nothing wrong with at all. Cannons, obviously, it's early 1950s, cannons, a couple of bombs, and that's it. Nothing bad to add to it, apart from it's just getting a bit dated. Anything on the MiG-15?
No, it's a good module.
Roger, just listening to the stream as we go. The Z39 has a L39 has an IFR hood, which is modelled and good fun. If you like to poo your pants, MiG-21, almost everyone's favourite. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's. I know there are some people that don't like it because it has some fidelity problem with the flight model. Personally, I've never noticed it. I think it's great. It's a challenge not to be your first plane. Definitely, it's hard. As this is exactly my kind of thing. It's got a little bit of guided weapons. It's got a little bit of radar, but not a great deal. It's a 1960s plane at the end of the day. It requires a vast amount of skill, more than anything else in DCS world, to fly and to fly good. Lots of management. Massively rewarding to do a mission in a MiG-21, complete it, come back. It will give you more rewards than even the Warbirds. Maybe not. But it's brilliant. Everyone should have it, in my opinion. There's no excuse not to have it. $24. Magnitude. I know they're not the most productive guys. I understand that, but they are really nice guys. And for my world, the way I work in life, if they're a nice guy, you help them out, and they are. That's them. Anything to add to the MiG?
The only aircraft in DCS that has nuclear weapons.
yeah. I mean, it just shows what they're like. They're fun guys. You know, it's not serious. The nuclear weapon's not serious, but it's a bit of fun, and it is fun. I'm going to pretty much sum up all the Warbirds. I've already summed up the Warbirds. F-86 is the equivalent of the MiG-15. Sorry about the phone in the background. I'll sit on my apologies. It's equivalent of the MiG-15. In terms of quality, it's the same. The reason I don't fly it much, for me, I get this weird bug with it where the sound disappears. The cockpit sound disappears. I can't report it because I can't make it happen on demand, so I can't get it fixed. But for most people don't seem to have that problem. Otherwise, in terms of quality and playability, it's the same as the MiG-15. It's a great module. F-86, anything RC?
Nothing.
Warbirds we've talked about. All the helicopters we've got left are the ED helicopters, which are the Huey, the Mi-8. I don't think I missed anything else out. Oh, got the cam off. We're going to speed up now. Old modules, Mi-8, Huey, good, fun, top quality flight models. Okay amount of stuff. No guided weapons here. No guided weapons, but lots of boom for your money. And even now, these are still right at the top in terms of flight model, if not the best in DCS, a Huey and an Mi-8. Mi-8, wouldn't suggest as your first helicopter. It takes a lot of learning to get good, a bit like the MiG-21. Huey, definitely go with it as your first one. Really good stuff. I've never had a bad time in a Huey, put it that way. Flaming Cliffs, we've already... this is Flaming Cliffs. You get 7 aircraft now. Flaming Cliffs for $25. Low fidelity, but still, you can have just as much fun in a Flaming Cliffs 3 on a public server. I think anyone who doesn't have FC3 is crazy, especially at that price. Combined arms, it lets you drive some tanks around. It's kind of one of those things. It's not. You don't need it as much as Super Carrier, maybe World War II assets, but it is useful. And there are servers you can go in where you can take control of a SAM site, of a tank and stuff. And in terms of fun, it's not super realistic. You know, it's well, to be honest, pretty unrealistic. But you want to have some fun in some tanks and stuff. It's a great laugh, and it's $20. Anything on combined arms, RC?
Nope.
Sorry, my voice is just about to give up, valued viewers, so I'm just going to try and stretch to the end. Mustang, as before. Black Shark, the original DCS high-fidelity module, like 13 years old now or something. It has been improved with a decent cockpit, although I just tried it, and I got the old cockpit, so something's gone wrong there, but I'm pretty sure
you get a choice.
Why?
You get a choice. You can have either the weathered cockpit or the new cockpit.
No. I mean, I got the old 8-bit cockpit. It hasn't even with low res. So I was saying everything looked terrible. It's probably a me problem because I think all of you out there should have it. So you guys can ignore that. It's good, top quality. It's like the old A10C. It's just been there forever. Everyone's got it. It's good. It's a bit modern for me. It's HUD and GPS and stuff like that. But you guys love that stuff, so I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And it's $25, so it's perfectly accessible price. Anything on the BS2 RC?
Except that I think there's going to be... Well, no, that's it.
Roger. Actually, I think they have actually confirmed the BS3 is coming out, by the way. Again, reconfirmed.
Okay.
So we'll be looking at...
Yeah, what I was going to say. I think there's a Black Shark 3 coming, but I believe that... I don't know for sure, but I'll believe there will be an upgrade path from the 2 to the 3.
Right. So for instance, you might have to, pay $10, get upgrade from 2 to 3. That's the usual kind of thing that they do. We'll see how it goes. FC3 single module has been through. Hawk no longer available. Sadly, it wasn't a very good module to be honest, but it was a good plane. And you've got some little upgrade things here to upgrade that to that and that to that, and that's that. Quick look at the maps, terrains. Oh, well, bundles. Not seen that. Syria, $40 bargain. You personally, I think you need a good computer to run that, but if you've got a good computer, you can enjoy it. and we use Syria whenever we can. Simple as that. Channel, love it, top notch, use it whenever we can. Really good fun. Not big, not huge big like Syria, but you don't want it to be for flying a warbird. You can fly anything in any map, by the way. That's not just a warbird map. That's not just a modern map. You can do whatever you want with them. Persian Gulf, classic. Still, I think, the best map in DCS all round. If you're going to factor in things like performance and stuff, I would say Persian Gulf is still the best all round for what you get, $25. Pretty top-notch stuff. Normandy, getting a bit dated now, but we still use it, and it is good fun and actually quite good quality. I'll open this up to you in a minute, RC. Nevada is one I missed because this came out before I got into DCS. Like some planes, like the A10, I never just got into it, and so I've never really used it. It's there. I'm sure it's relatively decent quality, but I can't say much about it. Anything you want to add to the maps, RC?
Nevada Test is a fun map to play with because it's got a bunch of features on land features that are fun to fly around, and it's got all modern navigation aids. Syria just got Cyprus, so you're actually getting even more than you would have. And then I believe, not sure, but Marianas, which is going to be a free map, will be out probably soon as well.
Roger. It's good, but it's irrelevant in that it's free. So yeah, I get you.
Yeah,
we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to that, guys. Just seen bundles. Never seen this before. Oh, there's no bundles, and I don't do single player, so none of these campaigns mean anything to me. I'm sure they're very good, but I'm not going to pretend to know anything about them. As a summary, bucket loads of stuff there. Go buy it. If you don't buy stuff when the sale's on, you're a nutter. I buy, apart from the stuff I have to buy to review it and stuff, I buy everything I can on the sales because it's the most efficient way by far. Anything else on the summer roundup, RC?
Nothing from me.
I hope that's useful and see you later.